Hey, how you doing? Scott here from scottsbasslessons.com, and today I've got something uber special for you. In the academy over at scottsbasslessons.com, every week we have some of the best bass educators in the world doing completely live streamed seminars. Guys such as Anthony Wellington, Ed Friedland, Todd Johnson, Steve Lawson. There's a whole heap of guys that do these live stream seminars every week, where it gives the Academy members the opportunity to actually interact with these guys live and ask them questions about what they're struggling with on the bass. So what I thought would be a really cool thing to do is share a clip from one of these seminars, and it's actually from Ed Friedland's seminar. If you haven't checked out Ed before, go over to his website. He's really, in my opinion, one of the, he's in the 1% of bass educators on the planet. He's a really great player, great educator, and on top of that, he's a cool guy. And on top of that, he's also follically challenged like me, so I just love him a little bit more. Anyway, in this snippet that I want to show you, somebody has asked Ed what, in his opinion, makes a great bass player, and I really think this is an important question because it can be different for a lot, for a lot of people. It depends on your situation, what you're into. But I really want to hand this over to Ed so he can, you can check out what Ed said, because I watched it and I just thought, he's absolutely bang on, and I think we can all take something away from this. So I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Ed Friedland. Make sure you check out his website, and also, if you haven't checked out the Academy yet, over at scottsbasslessons.com, where all these guys are doing these seminars, and we've got courses and the full shebang, you can get a totally free 14-day trial. The link is below this video. So I'll hand you over to Ed. See you later. Bye.
What do I think constitutes a good bass player? Well, that's a really interesting question, because coming from my background as an educated sort of jazz player, my idea of a good bass player back, from that perspective, was a guy, someone who can read, someone who knows tunes, who can walk and all that. But, as I've gone through many years post school and educational world and getting into the real world of gigging and stuff, I think probably all of what I thought from an educated standpoint is still valid, but there's a lot of musical situations that do not require the skills that I got as a music student, and a lot of times all the stuff that, you watch a guy like, a great jazz or a fusion player, or, and you say, this guy's a great bass player. But all of those skills do not necessarily make him a good bass player for every situation. So, it depends on the circumstances. I think there's good bass players on a general level who can play any kind of music and know what that style requires and understands what the the skill set is. But generally speaking, if I have to come up with a general answer, obviously you've got to be able to keep steady time. You have to understand, rhythm on an instinctual, internalized level. I mean, it doesn't matter if you can't read syncopated 16th notes. If you can play them and make them feel good, bottom line, that's the most important thing. I mean, reading is a very important skill, and all professional players, I think it's an important skill, or, well-rounded musicians. But, the situation, being able to read them and not play them well is of no use to anybody. But being able to, if you had a line like, like a rhythm like... Now, if I could read that right away, that would be awesome, except if it didn't feel good. I mean, how you can play something accurately and still not make it feel right. So, feel, rhythmic feel. Timekeeping, rhythmic feel. Common sense, which means an ability to assess the situation you're in and determine what's the right thing to do right now. Not what can I do, like, hey, here's this new trick I learned, let me throw that at it. It's about being able to tell what's right for this moment. And that is probably the most critical thing for any musician, but for bass players, because we're such an important part of the fabric of any band or song you're playing, if you mess up or if you have an agenda like I'm going to show them this new lick, you're going to do more damage than, say, a guitar player who might just be playing too loud. So, the old thing from Spider-Man, with great powers comes great responsibility. We have a lot of power. And I think, one of the things that makes a guy a good bass player is an understanding of your place in the universe. You have all this power, you have to use it wisely, and it's not about like showing people what you can do. It's about making the music you're playing at that moment sound as good as you can.